What's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is If Loving You Was Wrong, Season 3, Episode 22. This is the finale, and the name of this episode is Sound the Alarm. Now, forgive me if I'm not my normal jovial self, but this episode really boiled my blood, and I am still pissed off. I had to do this the next day, because I couldn't even do it last night because I was too fucking mad. I mean, there were so many loopholes and so much fuckery that went on in this entire episode that it literally pissed me off. But before I get started, let me, get some shout-outs. Let me shout out my boy, the Jedi. He does great reviews. Let me shout out my fam, Lynette and Stanley at Random TV Reviews. Let me shout out, Romy, Ashley Miller, and also, my sister, Nisha Houston. She does good reviews of If Loving You Was Wrong as well. So definitely I wanted to give out those shout outs, letting the fam know that, I definitely support these guys, and you should definitely check out their reviews because they do great reviews of this show as well. But yeah, this really pissed me off because it literally is just, I really feel like Tyler is insulting our intelligence because certain things that happen in this episode would never happen in our real life. So let me get started. First, it starts off, the episode starts where it left off. Travis has snuck into Kelly's house, which is not surprising because Kelly had every damn every lock and bolt unlocked, and she decides to do it in the middle of the night, whereas if you were smart and you know someone's coming after you, that would have been done before you even laid your head down. But Travis got into the house. He pretty much is saying that, she's now trying to talk him down, saying like, why do you keep doing this? He's like, well, if you want this to stop, you have to make love to me. So then he's like telling her, get up and, let's go in the shower. But he says, if you try anything, I will kill you. And she did mention, justice is in the house. Why are you doing this? And he pretty much said that, look, if you don't do what I want, I will kill you, and justice will wake up to your dead body. So they pretty much get up and they go into the bathroom, and he pretty much says that, oh yeah, this is what I really want you to do. Get on your knees. So he proceeds to make her get on her knees and was going to make her give him head. So all of this is going on. She actually, the only smart thing Kelly has done is that she bit his penis. She bit the penis, tried to get away, but he's pretty much roughing her up in the bathroom, and it wakes up Justice, and Justice is like, what's going on? I'm going to call the police, and that's what made Travis get up out of it. Then we get a scene. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, so that's what ends up happening because finally Travis just gets the hell up out of there. He runs out, and that's the end of that. Then we get a scene with Marcy and Brad. Brad comes in there with a pregnancy test that he bought from CVS and told her to go pee on this stick. And she just said, I'm not even gonna, go around. I'm not even gonna ring around the rosy with you. I'm just gonna come out with it. And then he's like, you must have been talking to Alex, so Alex must have told you. But she's like, yeah, I am pregnant, and it's not yours, it's Randall's. Unlike her, I know how to keep my dates. So I was like, Marcy, you still shading the shit out of Alex, but I'm so here for it though, because I'll get into it, but she lets him know that I wish it was yours because you're a good man and you're a good father, but unfortunately it's not your baby, it's Randall's, and pretty much, you know, she's like, I'm not gonna tell him, and then she was like, yeah, I mean, look at the hell he was putting Alex through, you know, with her baby. You know, I'm not gonna allow him to do that to me. So, as far as I'm concerned, Randall will not know about this baby. So pretty much, you know, her and Brad have a moment, and that's the end of that. Then we get a scene with Ben and Julius. Ben goes to, you know, this club that Julius has completely taken over. He got all kind of people. He got drugs. I mean, he got strippers. He got everything, you know. And he invites, you know, Ben comes through, and, you know, him and Ben pretty much strike up a conversation. He's pretty much trying to loosen Ben up, but Ben is so on the edge, you know. He pretty much say that, like, you see these girls over here, which one you want? He's like, oh no, I got a girlfriend. He slaps the shit out of Ben. He's like, don't ever say that shit up in here. Which one do you want? And he points out one of the girls. And he brings the girl over here, is like, yo, show him how you got up in here, honey. And she begins to start sucking his dick right there in front of everybody. But everybody's all doped up and everything, and then he's like, yo, Ben, why are you so tense? Why are you so shooken up? He's like, well, oh yeah, he also has some Colombian pure there, so of course he got him a little taste of that. And, you know, Ben was feeling the drugs, but then he was still scared and still uneasy. He's like, yo, Ben, why the fuck you making me nervous? Why the fuck are you so shaken up? He's like, I don't know, man, it's the cell phones. Fucking Julius crazy ass shoots the fucking gun up in the air, and he's like, hey, who in here has a cell phone? Ben, you see any cell phones? That's because there aren't any cell phones. Musica! And it's like, and they turn back on the music, and everybody goes back to partying as if like nothing happened. I'm like, Julius is a fucking psychopath like shit. Which is probably why Psycho Betty knew not to try him, because this motherfucker's more crazier than fucking Randall. So they begin to start, they pretty much get into the conversation, and then Ben is like, you know, what's making me nervous is like, I don't understand, why are you being so nice to me? And he pretty much begins to tell him about his father. But first he said, like, this party is dedicated to my father, may he burn in hell. So I'm like, see, Julius is that little ungrateful, spoiled brat. But anyway, he tells him that my father taught me that, you know, is that you can actually use your enemy to your advantage. You know, and, you know, the police has always been our enemy. But I come to find out that he actually has some police officers and some members of the FBI on his payroll, one of them being your captain. And that's the reason why the captain is no longer in the office. You know, they was thinking he was on, you know, like on the FMLA leave or something. But really, that really didn't happen. We actually find out later on what really happened to him. But yeah, he was pretty much working with Julius's father. And then he said that Eddie knows my organization, and that's something that I can't allow. So he's pretty much saying that, look, I'm pretty much changing the whole regime, out with the old and in with the new, because I need a regime that I control. And he said, that's why you're here. You're being used. Then we get a scene with Natalie and Lucien. They pretty much trying to get like they love groove on in the bed or whatever, because he told her, because she's like, why did you let me sleep so much? Because now I won't be able to go back to sleep. He's like, I'll put you back to sleep now. Come over here. And I was like, let's test out these walls and everything. And next thing you know, he gets a call from Esperanza saying that Kelly missed her check-in, because they said that they would call each other every 3 hours to check in with each other. She missed her third call, so can he go over to Kelly's house and check on her? So Lucien lets her know, I'm about to go check and see what's going on. And, you know, pretty much he said, I took care, I made sure the kids are okay, so everything's good. Next thing you know, Kelly looks out the window. She sees Travis' ass hopping the fucking fence. She immediately panics and goes after Lucien like, look, I just saw somebody hop the fence. He's like, well, okay, go in the house and lock the door. So afterwards, we see that, you know, they pretty much call the cops, of course, and Dion and Rick's dumbass are in Kelly's house. Kelly's obviously very shaken up, and Lucian is like really going off. He's like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, you can look at her right now and you can tell she's not lying. She's completely distraught. Like, you need to find this guy. He's like, look, we do got a warrant to arrest him. We just haven't been able to find him. He's like, well, you need to go find his ass. You need to go get him. And like, next thing you know, Kelly begins to go off on Dion's ass, and I was so here for this. I have to say, this was only the smartest thing that Kelly did this whole episode, because she went in on his ass like, oh, so he's gonna have to fucking stab me up or damn near kill me for you to do your fucking job. Because I remember me being at that fucking precinct telling you that this dude was after me and that he was trying to kill me and that he's been harassing me and that he kidnapped my son. You did not believe a damn word I said. Like, what the fuck? What's gonna have to happen? He's gonna have to literally kill me for you to do your damn job? Really? And he's like, look, you know, I just have to, you know, look, I'm sorry that you're going through this, but, you know, I'm just doing my job. He's like, yeah, thank you so much for doing your job. Thank you so much for serving and protecting. So won't you take your ass out there and find that son of a bitch? Oh, yeah, and look at his dick because I bit it. So, yeah, look, you know, find the guy with the bites on his penis. That's what you do. Go the fuck on. And I was like, Kelly, I was so here for Kelly in that scene because Dion and Rick been pissing me off. And the shit was just fucking, it's just like those two motherfuckers just like, they on their own little fucking program, and they just only gonna look at physical evidence, and anything outside of that doesn't matter to them. So, Kelly was over it. So now we actually have the fucking court hearing between Randall and Alex. Alex shows up in there late. And while during the proceedings, you know, Psycho Betty is just going off and shit, like, you know, just having little outbursts and shit, you know, and, you know, she pretty much, Alex pretty much apologizes to the judge for holding up the court because she knows that Randall's the father, but she held it up because she doesn't want him to get custody. She wants full custody of the child. So now Randall's lawyer's like, okay, well, now that we know this information, we're asking for full custody with no visitation and no supervision. And all of a sudden, she's like pleading with Randall, don't do this. And then, of course, Psycho Betty's like, what do you mean don't do this? And she's like, it's too late now. It's up to the judge. And she's like, Randall, I can keep the baby. You can come see the baby anytime you want. She's like, oh, no. I wanted to do that before, but you said no. So now it's up to the hands of the judge. So, judge, give your ruling. You know, just real confident and shit. The fucking judge is just, like, over it because it's like the two of them just been giving him the blues. Yeah, because Psycho Betty even got mad that she'd been seeing the baby. He's like, well, that's not fair. How can she get to see the baby and I can't? Well, he said, well, the judge was like, well, not that I had to explain myself to you, but the doctor wanted her to come in to breastfeed the baby. He's like, well, it's still not fair. He's like, okay, so maybe the next time I'll ask you to go and breastfeed him then. Like, just Psycho Betty was just on his bullshit. So the judge gives his ruling, and he says, well, it seems to me that the custody is going to go to the only sole parent that's here, which is Alex. Randall, you are not the father. And Psycho Betty began to go off. You slut! You slut! You slut! And then like the judge pretty much looks at it and it's like, and then like they look. I'm sorry. Randall's lawyer looks at the result and it's like, well, yeah, it's saying you're not the father. So now his little dumbass gets all mad and leaves, and that's the only time we've seen Randall. I mean, that's the only time we needed to see Randall. So yeah, Randall, you did all this shit, and yeah, the baby ain't yours because it's just like Because even Marcy even told Brad that, you know, it ain't even about the damn baby. He don't know a damn thing about babies. It's about control. He wants to have control over Alex, and that's why he's doing the shit he's doing. And now he's mad because now he doesn't have that control. But I really think what may have happened with that DNA, I think the nurse at the hospital had that DNA switch. Because remember, Alex did tell her about what was going on between her and Randall, and why she didn't want Randall to have the baby. So I'm thinking she may have did something because her husband's a judge. So I'm thinking she did something to have that DNA switched. That's my hypothesis. So, due to the fact of what happened at Kelly's house, Kelly stayed with Natalie. Her and Natalie have a conversation, and while in the midst of this conversation, you know, Kelly says, "Oh, I just feel so strange being in this house." And she's like, "I know, you know, and she said because of Ramsey." And then Natalie's like, "Yeah, I know. I can definitely understand that." And she's like, "Yeah." And the thought of it that him and his mother both died in the bedroom. I'm like, Kelly, you stupid bitch. You had to run your fucking mouth. So immediately Kelly's kind of paranoid. She's like, "Oh yeah, me and Lucy's going to talk about this. You mean to tell me they died in this house?" She's like, "Oh my God, Lucian is going to kill me." I'm like, "Yeah, he should kill you, dumbass, because you shouldn't have opened your fucking mouth and said anything. He told you not to say shit." Hard-headed. So pretty much Natalie tells her, you know, as far as dealing with her house, is that, look, you need to get a security system, and yo, I can get my girl Michelle to come visit you. And she's like, "Oh, for real?" And she's like, you know, the girl with the gun. And Kelly's like, "Oh no, I don't know about the gun." She's like, "Girl, you need to." She's legit. "You need to get you a fucking gun." But she's like, "Well, what if Travis?" But she's like, "Travis been sneaking up on me." She's like, "You don't let him get close to you." She's like, "Shit, you pull out that gun and you handle business." So Natalie's with it. Like, you need to get you a gun and you need to get that security system set up. We actually see later on that she does get the security system, and then the girl Michelle does come over, you know, and she gives her, she pretty much lets her see a Glock, and Kelly's liking the gun, and she says, "Well, I don't know how to shoot." She's like, "I'll teach you." But then she also proved to her that I have a license and I sell online, and I'm only doing this as a favor, you know, for Natalie. So she pretty much saying, "So how do you want to pay for this?" She's like, "I'm going to pay for this with my credit card." She gives her the credit card. She runs it. The shit declined. She ran it twice. It declined. So she gets her another card, and that card declined. So then she's like, "Okay, can you wait 15 minutes? I'm going to go to the bank and find out what's going on." And I'm like, "Can you just wait in your car?" And she's like, "Really?" And she's like, "It's a nice day." I'm like, "Kelly, you so fucking shit." But, you know, she said, "You got 15 minutes, and it's going to cost you because I'm doing this as a favor for a friend. But you got 15 minutes, and if you ain't here 15 minutes, I'm pulling off." So we see that she calls her bank, and she calls her job, and she talks to Jill, who she works with. She says, like, you know, "Can you run this card for me?" And she's like, "Okay, give me the card number." She's like, "Well, it's actually my card." She's like, "Oh, well, we got all your cards in the system." She pulls up her shit. She's like $80,000 in the hole, and there's been like these purchases like sex toys and stuff that been made on her account, and due to the fact that her checking and savings are tied to her credit card, everything has been maxed out, so she has no more money. Now, my whole thing is this. How the hell, she's working for a bank, how the hell is she that far in the negative? She's like $80,000 in the hole. How is that even possible when she's a bank employee? Second, the thing that really pissed me off was that why didn't Natalie go down there and actually file a claim, a claim of fraud and that someone has hacked her account? Because that's exactly what happened. Someone hacked your account. So why not get that shit taken care of? But yet, what she ends up doing is going over to Natalie's house, playing like everything's okay, which is why I'm so not here for Kelly, because Kelly, a lot of this shit is happening because Kelly is very neglectful, and she's always putting up a fucking front instead of being real with her shit. So, yeah. So, in some aspect, I do feel sorry for Kelly, but then in the other aspect, I don't feel sorry for her because she always allows shit to go down. Back at the precinct, Lucian gets a call from Pete. They're moving Pete because they're about to pick up Eddie. Lucian goes to talk to Stevens. Stevens is mad as fuck, saying like, well, your boss is the one who's going to actually go pick up Eddie. I wanted to take down the Scotta and everything, but I want to take down the Scotta, but obviously you had a totally different agenda. And Lucian was like, yeah, I was with you at first to take down the Scotta, but, we can still take him down, but then Eddie's fucking going around killing cops, so I can't allow that shit to happen. So yeah, Eddie's about to get shut down. It is what it is. But it makes me wonder, I'm really beginning to think that Stevens really is, really crooked as well. And I think, I think, in time we're going to find that out. Next we get a scene where Ben is driving Julius's car. He's speeding and shit. And guess who actually stops him? That motherfucking Eddie. Eddie pretty much saying, who the fuck's car is this? Who the fuck that got a nice ass car like this? And definitely Eddie's suspicious. And then he also sees that Pete also has drugs on him. So he runs the fucking license plate, finds out it's Julius's car. He slaps the shit out of Ben. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell's going on? He's like, look, I caught it, and then like Pete lies and says that, look, I got it from these kids, and I just started to go joyriding with it. I was supposed to turn it in. And then he's like, you know what? Okay. Get your ass out of here, Ben. And Ben's about to get back into the car. He's like, oh, no, you ain't riding in this fucking car. No, I'm taking this bitch. Get in that fucking police car and get your ass up out of here. And I'm like, see, like Ben is such a fucking punk. He's just straight, like, dogs Ben every chance he gets. And it's fucking crazy. Later on, we actually catch Eddie getting hair from a prostitute inside the damn car, and Julius runs up on him and lets him know, like, the FBI is after you. So if you go back to the precinct, they're gonna lock your ass up. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, really. So this is what you need to do. You can't go back to the precinct, and you need to lay low for a while. But he's like, oh no, I'm a police officer. Serving the police department of Maxine is my life. He's like, motherfucker, are you listening to me? They are after you. The FBI is after your ass. So no, you're gonna lay low, and while you at it, clean my fucking seats of my car and have my car back to my house in an hour. And then he lets him know that, look, and he also tells him about the captain. The captain is actually in Colombia. He's on vacation, and he ain't coming back. Because he was actually an informant that worked with his dad. So he's like, that's where he is. And he said that, look, out with the old and with the new. You are part of my new operation, and I don't need you getting caught up in no bullshit. So you're going to lay low, and you're going to pretty much do what I tell you. And have my fucking seats clean and bring my car back within an hour. Next, we get the damn housewarming scene with Lucian a few episodes ago wanted to get all the girls together, to cheer up Natalie because Joey's been locked up and he just wanted to lift up Natalie's spirits. So they all come over to see the new house. She calls Lucian to pick up some food or whatever, but Lucian is obviously caught up at the precinct, so they decide to order out. Next thing you know, they get a knock on the door, because at first who's there is Natalie along with Kelly, Esperanza, and Alex. Then Marcy shows up, and Marcy decides to show up in the show out. She pretty much like, oh yeah, I would have a glass of wine, but I can't, Oh, Alex, you didn't tell them? Oh, it's a shame, you didn't tell them. I'm pregnant. And guess who the baby daddy is? It's Brad. So it's like she's still antagonizing Alex. And, you know, all of them are all trying to defend Alex. So I'm like, y'all bitches get on my fucking nerves. Talking about Kelly and fucking Esperanza. You know, Marcia, you need to stop this. You need to stop this. Like, did y'all forget that Alex was the one who slept with her husband and created all of this shit? And like, you know, but now he's like, look, you don't need to be doing this up in my house. But she's like, oh, and there's also something else you guys need to know. Oh yeah, you didn't probably tell him this either, but you guys are going to want to know about this. Randall is not the father of the baby. I just found out from Louise. So, Randall ain't the fucking baby. So who the baby, Alex? Who the fucking baby daddy? So immediately that makes Natalie paranoid because she now starts to think, is it really Lucian? And she's asking, who's the fucking baby? Who's the fucking father of the baby, Alex? And Alex just like gets to the point where she just gets so bent out of shape that she just ups and leaves or whatever. And she goes to her house and they all are following her because one, you know, Marcy's still antagonizing her ass, and then Natalie wants to know who's the father of the damn baby. If it ain't Randall's, whose is it? Then all of a sudden they walk up on Alex's house and Brad is there. So the three of them go back. So it's just Marcy, Alex, and Brad. And then Brad is like, look, I need to talk to you. And then like Alex is like, can we talk in private? So they pretty much go in the house, and then first Marcy makes a move and kisses on Brad, and then grabs his dick and kind of like tells Alex, I'm just warming up my dinner. I'm like, Marcy, you are doing too fucking much. So then she goes in there and she says that, look, you know, she keeps on antagonizing me. She keeps coming for me. And then Brad's like, look, I told her to stop, and obviously she didn't listen to me. He's like, you told her to quit? He's like, yeah, you've been through enough. I don't want to see you suffer anymore. And then that's when Alex starts throwing herself onto him, and then eventually Brad at first was resisting her greatly, but then she damn near throws him on the fucking door and literally starts like, you know, throwing herself onto him and shit. And I'm like, see, Alex, I'm so sick of Alex's ass. Because here it is, you done fucked up this man, and you did all this shit, and now you trying to throw yourself onto him. But, you know, she definitely did it to get back at Marcy. Marcy's hearing the commotion, she's hearing them banging around, and she's definitely hearing, you know, the two of them kiss or whatever. So, Marcy, oh, sorry about that. So, pretty much what happens is that, Marcy ends up leaving, and she's, you know, in her feelings. Then we definitely get a scene where finally the FBI closes in on fucking Eddie. Eddie's driving Julius's car, and he got a fucking blunt on him and shit. So I'm like, and he's pretty much cornered. And he just sits there and just smokes the blunt and just sits in the car. Then the last scene, which really pissed me off, was that Natalie was going to go back to Alex's house. She's like, Alex going to tell me something. We're going to find out what the fuck's going on with this. So they end up getting the kids. They send the kids all into Kelly's house. Next thing you know, fucking Dion and Rick are there. And, you know, Kelly's like, oh my God, did you catch him? Did you find him? And he's like, oh no, you're under arrest, Kelly, for the murder of Ramsey. I'm like, see, this is some fucking bullshit. So you run her DNA, and you don't, and these dumb, and it just shows you how stupid Dion and Rick really are. Because come the fuck on, she lives right next door to fucking Ramsey. Why the fuck would she still stay there if she killed him? Really? So that shit really pissed me off. And they got to handcuff Kelly, and next thing you know, you hear a gun go off in Kelly's house, and you hear the kids scream. And that's where it ended. So this shit made me mad on so many fucking levels. Because first of all, how the fuck they gonna put the murder of Ramsey on Kelly? This motherfucker was a specially trained military man. It takes someone with skill to take a man like that down. And it's like they're not even doing the history on the victim or anything. They just want to get a conviction, and they ran the DNA, and Kelly's DNA was at the crime scene, so it's like, oh, so Kelly did it. Like, I can't with this fucking show sometimes, because it's just like, Tyler, cut the bullshit, man. Like, seriously. Like, the damn writing on this show is fucking horrible at times. It's just like the shit that is coming out just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, the shit just did not fucking add up whatsoever. But that's my review, y'all. Please, feel free to comment. I definitely want to hear your take on this, because I was pissed off. So I definitely want to hear what you all had to say about it, because I would love to talk to y'all. But yeah, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And we'll see. You know, right now I'm up in the air, but most likely I'll still be reviewing this show. So I'll be back, you know, for the next season of Loving You Is Wrong. So until then, everybody, take care.